Everyone's been asking the same question. Should I buy in Reno this year or should I wait? And if you've done your homework, you've probably been hearing these comments. Prices are about to come down, so you should hold off. Rates are about to drop, so be patient. And my personal favorite is, it's always a good time to buy. Some agents always and somehow always manage to come up with the opinion that no matter what the conditions are, it's a great time to buy. It's like a terms and condition checkbox they got when they got their license. But here's what none of those people are telling you. Reno's market's not crashing, nor is it booming. It's simply resetting. And if you actually understand what's going on right now, then you can plan this move really well. But if you don't, then you're about to start competing with approximately 5 million people in about 6 months, and we'll get to those numbers pretty quick. Hi, I'm Raynor, a broker here in Northern Nevada. I help a lot of families make that move from California and other states. So I've seen Reno in a few different modes. Quiet, frenzied, and actually what we got going on right now, and it's interesting. So here's what we're going to cover. What the Reno market's actually doing and not the headlines. Where prices are likely headed and what interest rates mean to your timing. And this is the part that really surprises a lot of buyers. And then we'll finish off with some of the biggest mistakes I see that people are making when they choose to relocate. So let's get to it. Let's get started with reality, not just good feelings. Right now, the Reno market is stable. It's not declining. It's slowly starting to add inventory, and it's giving buyers more leverage than what they had in 2019. But a quick note is that Reno is sitting just under about 2 months worth of inventory. A balanced market usually sits on about 4 to 6 months worth of supply. So even though the market can have a little bit of a slower feel, we're still sitting in a supply constrained market. Yes, the 2020 circus is all over, and no, we're not waiving inspections like it's a personality trait anymore. People got a little unhinged with inspection waivers, appraisal gap coverages, those love letters, and I saw a buyer even send homemade jam once. True story. Well, now housing sitting at approximately 40 to 60 days, no longer at 10 to 15. Sellers have begun negotiating again, and approximately 30 to 40% of the properties that are sitting active on the market are still getting price reductions. Now, in contrast to a year ago, that number was actually closer to 70%. But let's be clear about what that actually means. This translates to sellers are getting a reality check, but the market is not crashing. So what we got going on in Northern Nevada is called a balanced market correction, which honestly feels a little weird because we haven't been in a normal market in a long time. It's just like when your city finally gets a Trader Joe's and they're acting really weird and they don't know how to respond in a normal grocery store. If prices are adjusting, does that mean I'm about to get a deal? Stick with me because the answer to that is not what a lot of people think. This is the question everyone's really asking. So let's hit it head on. Could some pockets soften slightly? Yes. Are we looking at a broad price correction across Reno? No. But here's why. Let me explain. Reason number one is the supply is still constrained. We are not overbuilt, and here's the part that most people misinterpret. A significant percentage of existing homeowners are locked in at 3 to 4%, and they aren't selling unless they have to. That keeps the inventory really tight. And it also keeps those properties from coming on and driving those prices down. Reason number two is demand is structural, not trending. People are still leaving California, Washington, Oregon, and other states from across the country. And a lot of these are any state where the tax bills require your own support group. And Reno just keeps chugging all the boxes. With no state income tax, we're only 30 to 40 minutes from Tahoe, and we have more house for significantly less money. And that's not random migration. A lot of what's driving our markets is the fact that Tesla, Google, Switch, and major data centers, along with AI hubs, are driving real job growth. And that's real demand, not YouTube hype. Reason number 3 is the floor price is holding. The medium sales price in Reno is still hovering in the mid 500s. It's not falling off a cliff, it's staying stable. Reason number 4 is Reno is a micro market city. This is important because a lot of out-of-state buyers that are relocating here don't know this fact. We have South Reno, Damani Ranch, those are all newer products. They behave completely different than our older neighborhoods that are closer to downtown. Buying in the wrong zip code because it was $30,000 cheaper is how people end up listing 2 years later going, well, I thought we would appreciate more. Micro markets really do matter. So, what is the actual forecast? We are flat to slightly appreciating with 3 to 5% of appreciation in 2026. This is a realistic path to the 8 to 10% of cumulative appreciation by the end of 2027. Not because of hype, but because of timing and supply and demand. Here's the part of the rate conversation that real estate content almost never shows you. And this is the math that changes the entire calculation. Everyone seems to be waiting for that rate to drop, and I understand the logic, but here's where that logic breaks down. Most forecasts are pointing to an easing of the rates. There's a real possibility that the rates are going to move to the mid to high 5s by summer. But that's exactly when the markets begin to heat up. So let's talk about the 5 million buyer problem that no one has told you about. And that's because for every 1% that the interest rates drop on mortgages, approximately 5 million buyers come back to the market and start shopping nationally. That's not a small bump, that's an entire wave. That also translates into buying power math. And that's because for every 1% that the rate drops, it creates an additional 10% in buying power. More buyers qualify, more buyers compete, then the price goes up. Now, let's connect that to Reno and show you how that's going to hit here. We have limited inventory, locked-in sellers who refuse to list, continued in-migration from California, and a lot more jobs that are coming to the market by this summer. So, what happens when you add all this surge of new demand into the equation? Prices go up. And that's the scenario that most people don't walk through. You wait, the rates drop into the 5s, and you feel good about your timing. But now you're competing against more buyers, losing your negotiating leverage that you have right now, and you end up paying more money for the same house. That same house that you passed on waiting for those rates to drop, well, now it's $40,000 to $50,000 more expensive, and here's the part that nobody likes hearing. That extra $40,000 to $50,000 that you had to spend to buy that same house could end up costing you 2 to 3 times that amount by the time you pay that loan off. So you waited 6 months, you fought 3 other buyers, you paid more, and now you're telling your partner that you timed the market. Sounds solid. Bottom line is, waiting for those rates to drop sounds smart, but you're actually trading a better rate for a worse deal.
Good deal, mover, good deal.
So if rates ease and demand comes rushing back into the market with limited supply, why wait to compete when you can buy while there's still leverage? So if you're still relocating, your leverage is going to be, you can still be strategic while everybody else is being reactive. So buy when you have leverage, and that's right now. Right now you can negotiate price, ask for closing cost credits, get repairs handled before the close, and avoid the bidding wars entirely. That window does not stay open indefinitely. And after 21 years, I'm going to tell you nobody times the market perfectly. Stop trying. The people who sit and wait for perfect timing never buy. Or they end up buying at all the wrong times, feeling perfect about the conditions at the peak. The goal isn't about perfect timing, it's about a controlled outcome. So just know that the rate is refinanceable, the deal is not. You can always refinance a rate. You cannot overpay for a bad location. You can't fix a bad lot, and you definitely cannot unwaive those inspections after the deal. I've seen buyers come back after the close of escrow and try to renegotiate some of those inspections. I'll tell you, the seller's attorney does not answer those calls.
Answer your phone!
I'll also tell you the save and rent and hold does not add up. Reno's rents are still elevated. In many scenarios, the gap between renting and owning is smaller than people expect, especially if rates ease. Renting may feel safe, but you're also paying somebody else's mortgage while the prices continue to stabilize and then appreciate. I had a friend tell me today at the gym that he just secured a one-bedroom apartment with a loft for $2,200 a month. Then there's the two-transaction problem, and this is where buyers tend to get burned the most. You need someone who understands the market you're leaving and also the market that you're entering. It's also important to have somebody who understands the timing of how to lay all this out so that you're not paying two mortgages or worse in between houses. And that's where having somebody who understands the overall picture can really save you a lot of headaches. My wife Cindy has 20 years worth of title and escrow and an additional 12 years in lending. That's not a casual mention, but that is why our clients are not caught off guard by all the paperwork. So if you're looking to have both sides covered, that's exactly what we do. The buyers who win in this market are not sitting around waiting for perfect conditions. They're the ones who understand timing before everybody else catches on. So let's make this practical for just a second. If you're coming from California, you're going to notice a few things immediately. Lower cost of living, less traffic, almost disorientating. More space, both inside and out. People who are not in a hurry, also almost disoriented. But also we have less inventory. This is not the place that always has 400 listings readily available for your choosing. We also have micro markets that behave very differently from one another right here. And yes, certain corridors get wind and some get a lot of wind. I'm not going to oversell this one. But if you park your car facing the wrong direction in certain neighborhoods in March, you will find it in your neighbor's yard. This is known. So this is going to be a strategic move, not a plug and play. The families who thrive here are the ones who came and moved from a plan. So here's the bottom line. I'm going to keep this tight. Reno is not crashing. It's stabilizing, which is a very different thing. Inventory is still tight. And right now, for the first time in years, buyers still have a little bit of leverage. And that leverage is directly tied to the interest rates, but that will be changing very soon. When rates ease, and they will, the demand comes back really fast. And remember, we have a new Fed chair coming in this May. Your competition is going to increase and prices are going to follow. So know this, Reno doesn't normally crash. It pauses, it adjusts, and then it keeps moving. And that's because the fundamentals are still here. So the real question isn't whether you should be buying in Reno. The real question is are you going to buy before everyone figures it out, or will you wait till afterwards? So if you found this video useful, hit that subscribe button. I break down Reno versus California, the cost of living, neighborhoods, and what it's like to actually live here. No fluff, no sales pitches, Just good, honest information that you can use to make a smart move. And if you would like to build an actual plan for your relocation, just go to www.meetwithchris.com. We'll map out your exact situation about what it's like to sell there, buy here, and get all the details right. So that's it. We'll see you on the next one.